What's up, Aaron? Hey, Mom. Hey, Chris. How's it going, everybody? Let's see. Trying to see right now. My phone is working perfectly fine. But my computer, the network is running like dog slow. I know, I always say that. See how it's doing now. I restarted everything. I think I can. No. So, looks like I'll be calling the cable company tomorrow. So, what's up, Chris? Hey, Aaron. Yeah, you know, I missed out the last couple of weeks. Last week I wasn't here. So, what's up, Eric? Come on. Last week I wasn't here. We ended up going on a cruise. We ended up going on a week cruise. We left Sunday, went down and stayed in Fort Lauderdale. We left Monday morning, came back Saturday afternoon, evening time, and just didn't feel like doing anything before we left or at the hotel. We didn't get to the hotel until late in the night. That's a heck of a drive from Brooksville. What's up, Peggy? I think it was about 5.5 hours, stopping to get fuel and food and all that good stuff. So it took some time to get there. So it's okay. What's up, Lucas? How you doing, brother? So I missed out that one. The one before that was the Valentine's Day that we did with our friends that Sunday. So we didn't get home from that until like 9:30, 9:45. So and then excuses. But hey, we're here, and that's what we're doing. What's up, Aunt? How you doing, brother? So good to see you too, Peggy. I don't know what, Lucas. I think you're saying what's up. Not much. So there you go. All right, what's up, man? Hey, nothing much there, Aunt. Just got back from an awesome vacation, awesome trip. For anybody that doesn't know what I was talking about before, we took the whole week off. We left port Monday morning, and we hotel and all that good stuff. We left early Monday, and then came back Saturday. Saturday we ended up getting in. Saturday early morning. Like they were unloading the ship at like 7:30 in the morning. So of course we lollygagged out and had some breakfast, and it was an awesome ship. It was my mom paid for Melissa, Sarah, and I, and one of her friends. We all took a Disney cruise of all things. And what's up, Johnny? How you doing, brother? Ruben, what's up? So we get on track here. I could welcome everybody, and I want to say welcome to everybody, but my squirrely brain is going all off every which way. So my beard's looking nice. So, but so we ended up leaving Monday morning, and took a Disney cruise. Took a Disney cruise to the Bahamas, and I'll tell you, if you're skeptical about taking a Disney cruise, I've taken Disney and I've taken Carnival, and Carnival really isn't a good comparable. It's just, that's like comparing McDonald's to Burns Steakhouse in Tampa. They both serve food, but they're obviously different. So the Disney cruise was great. I'm a Disney freak, anyways. Everybody knows that. Knows me, knows that. And we just had a great time. There's a lot of good stuff to do there. It was just an awesome time. The weather was perfect. So, what's up, Glenn? How you doing, my man? I have no idea where the clue's at, Johnny. You know, hit him up. See if he wants to come on. I don't care. So, what's up, Robert? How you doing, man? So, speed has gone up a little bit. I'm on the cell phone service here. Unfortunately, what's up, Jamie? What's up, Robert? Unfortunately, Russell probably isn't going to join us tonight. Like a 99% chance he's not going to. I hit him up at the last minute and said, "Hey, we're going on." And he's like, "Well, he's got stuff going on," and it's understandable. It is what it is. We can run this by ourselves. We don't need him. So, Peggy, we looked into the ones like that. The problem is, I got my little 9-year-old mini me. Not the problem, excuse me. The determining factor was we got my little 9-year-old mini me. It was a birthday present for her birthday was the 24th. My birthday is coming up this I don't know, Saturday or something on the 7th. So, Johnny, shut up, man. Um, so that was my mom's gift to the both of us. Happy birthday, make the memories kind of deal, and it was great. It was awesome. I was just beyond happy. But I'm the type of guy you can drop off in the middle of Idaho and I'll still have a good time. I like traveling. I like doing things. I like going places. So yeah, what's up, Randy? G Body, what's up, man? So I could pretty much go anywhere and have a good time. But Disney itself, there wasn't. It's a little more pricey than Carnival or the other ones, but when you weigh out the what's involved and the what is included on the Disney, thank you, Peggy, on the Disney cruise, food 24 hours a day, the whole cruise, that's all included. They've got the buffet set up, and then they've got the nightly meals that are the specialty meals. Like we ate at a place called 1924, which is for Walt Disney and Roy is his brother, like showing off all the artwork and everything like that, set in like a 1920s theme. We ate in the Marvel restaurant, which is Glenn, good times, man. The Marvel restaurant, which is obviously comic book themed, and we're doing different things in there. Then we ate in the Lion King restaurant, which is the whole show while you're eating. So the whole thing was just an awesome, excellent experience. I'm very glad and very happy, and I'm not going to say that we already have our next one scheduled for like around October, but yeah, probably. So, oh yeah, no, thanks, Mom. The Mickey ice cream on a stick. That's part of the all-you-can-eat stuff. It was you could get room service for virtually anything they had there, and they'd bring it up to it. And that's because we've watched reviews and we talked to a lot of people and everything like that. What's up, Mr. Rayo? Thank you, Jamie. We weighed out all of them. Obviously after it's all done, but just curious on why Disney's a little more expensive. Well, Disney doesn't have any gambling on the ship. There's no gambling on the ship. So that's where ones like Carnival get you. Is they'll give you the lower prices. They know you're going to go in the gambling room and blow lots of money. Carnival, if I remember correctly, and it's been 20 plus years since I've been on a Carnival, a lot of the food wasn't included, or you had to buy like the soda pass or things like that. So this one's $100, this one's $300, but the $100 one, you got to buy this, you got to buy this, you got to buy this, you got to buy that, where the $300 one has all that included. So that's a good thing. That's a major good thing. So I like to eat. I came back a little bit heavier than when I left. It's okay. I'll burn it off. But that's a determining factor for me. I'm not anti-gamble, but I don't gamble, if that makes any sense. I'm not the type of guy that has to go to the casino all the time. So that not being on the ship isn't a big deal. I didn't buy the alcohol pass, which a lot of the other ships have the card where I don't even know how it works, but you get like a free pitcher of beer with a slice of pizza. I don't freaking know. I don't do that. So I'm not worried about that. So there's cost there and cost there. And there's a lot of stuff on the ship that was included and stuff that we'd like to do, so it didn't cost much of any more money. So I see Mr. John Kent wants to hop in. Let's just nip this in the bud now and see if it's going to happen. Give me one moment. And hit accept. That's John Kent live broadcast. Yes. And it says adding up here. It says adding on my side. So we'll see how long that goes for and if it actually kicks through this time. So yeah, we did win the trivia with a lot of help from the people. It was Star Wars trivia was one of the ones we went to. What's up, Brandon? And I found out how extreme little amount of Star Wars I actually know about. But luckily enough, we had a guy that he pretty much was like the comic book guy. We actually had two guys. A couple we just met, and one of the guys they already knew on the ship. And anytime a question came up, they're like, "Oh yeah, no, that was definitely episode 5, and it was against," and they went off onto it. And the last one was a math question, and just hearing it, I went just like that. That's the answer right there. That was the bonus question, and they're like, "All right, hold on, let's check this," and they did. Sure, shoot, and that was the right answer. So his teamwork makes the dream work, and all that other good rigmarole. So yeah, Kent, I see it's not going through. I'm sorry, man. We got to figure something else here. I just got the thing that says connection failed. So, let's see. Chris says, bro, I just realized that shirt you got on, the old school head. Yeah, dude, this is one of my favorite, most comfortable shirts. I don't wear it much anymore because I wore it so much back in the days. I don't think it was this faded when I originally got it, but it adds character. So, let me think. What else we got here? Oh, yeah. I haven't talked to you since Slammin With Swain. Wait, let's recharge. I didn't even thought this was not allowed on the ship, and I'm okay with that because I didn't miss it. But it's definitely good to have around. No question about it. So, Slammin With Swain was an awesome show. That really was a great show that was ran very good. It was a 2-day show. We were kind of skeptical about doing a 2-day show, but Kent and I talked it out, and he, obviously he's the one that, when it comes down to the end of it all, he is the host, and he is the one that makes the decisions. He's the one that's got to foot the bill if it falls apart. So, with all that, the show was excellent. The show was great. Will we run a 2-day show next year? Probably not, because within reason, about the same amount of money was made on the 2-day show as it was on the 1-day show. And seeing it, I think he and I both were it was thrown to us the obvious that a lot of people that make it to the 2-day shows, they're there all day Saturday doing their thing, and then they leave Sunday morning to drive home, just like they would with the 1-day show. So the first day was excellent. It was the lanes were packed, people were coming in, everything was doing great. Sunday, more than half the people had already left to start going home. And the second day, I know in my numbers for the 2 days, because I keep a rolling tally on my computer here of shows and such, for the 1-day show last year, I had the exact same head count as the 2-day show this year. So there really, on that sense, was no logic on bringing it in and adding the stress to John Kent and his team of trying to get more people to show up on the second day to justify paying for the fairgrounds for 2 days. So, with that being said, he and I talked it over, and I think we came to the agreement that obviously we're going to keep Slammin With Swain going because we love the show. It's a great fill-in for February because we don't really have anything going on. But for the next year and for those to follow, it'll be a 1-day show. It'll be a Saturday show. But instead of doing it from 10 to, I think it was 6, we're going to open up earlier and we're going to stay open later. And that way, if you're not staying local, if you're making a long drive and you don't want to stay at a hotel anyways, because some people do that for the 1-day shows, that you are 100% around that, Ruben. Thank you. I'd forgotten about that. It also was Super Bowl Sunday. So, majority of the people I know don't really care two bits about the Super Bowl. But I know Kent was just, and rightfully so, because he's one of the bigger NFL fans that I know. He was very, at this time this is going to happen, at that time that's going to happen, at this time we're going to be out of here, because he has a heck of a drive. Driving all the way down to South Florida, it's not like we could, shut it down at 5 and he'd be home by 5:30. He's one of the last people to leave. Thankfully this time he gave myself and, the persons I was with, pretty much the key to the gate, if you will, and we shut down. He went home. He started making the drive. We went through and made 100% sure that everything was cleaned up. We locked the gates, and as far as I know, we didn't get any negative feedback from the facility. So All right, we did pretty good. Yay! So, but nonetheless, I think we've spoken from here on. We are going to make it a 1 day show. Just make the show day longer. Just make it more logical for people to make the trip and not, if you're driving a 2-3 hour trip and you get there at noon and the place, the lane shut down at 3 and they're out of there by 4, it doesn't justify making the trip to be there for a short amount of time to then go. For anybody that does want to stay, there's plenty of hotels around everything so that you can enjoy chilling back after the show and going out to eat and all that good such. So yeah, see now there you go, Melissa. Melissa said, "Huh, I think I'm going to bet on this game." And John said, "Oh, okay." And yeah, it didn't work in the favor of the Patriots. I think that they left their star players at home, or I don't know what the hell happened with that game, because that game could have been a preseason game. Never mind the damn Super Bowl. So, with that being said, we owe Kent and whomever was whomever else he likes. We owe them a barbecue dinner next time they're in town, and or most could pay the $20, however. So, what's up, Austin? How you doing, man? So that's good, John. Glad that everything turned out good on your side. I know you and I speak afterwards, but to my defense, a lot has happened between now and then. So my mind is. But from our side as well, the show was excellent. The show was great. Everything was perfect on our end. In which I'm not trying to kiss tail, because I've known Kent for a good long time, so I have no reason to kiss his ass anymore. But his shows are always very well ran. They run smooth. We always get, if there's an issue and if there's a hassle, it's within a matter of moments it's taken care of. And that's not, myself or anyone else doing a temper tantrum. If I don't know, something happens with the electricity, or if people are starting to park in the areas they shouldn't be, or something of that nature, Kent and his team are right on top of it to keep the entire show running smoothly. So that's great. All right, Kent, next year up, man, barbecue's on us. We'll take you up there, and I know last time you were thinking about going to the barbecue joint in downtown, the one that you and I went to. If you want to do that one, or you want to go to the one over by our place, either or. Given the choice of the two, we prefer the one over by our place because it's better in our opinion. But it's your game. You can do whatever you want with it. It's our payment to you. So yeah, damn thing's clogged up. Fucking A. So thinking about it here. Slammin With Swain was a kick-ass show. On that, we've got a really kick-ass show coming up. This is going to be March 21st. That is Nicki and JT's wedding. It's For the Love of Bass, a basshead wedding. They are actually getting, for anybody that doesn't know, for anybody that hasn't been following, they're actually throwing a show for their wedding. Now, the show is going to be at the Hernando County Fairgrounds. Okay? The gates are going to open, I can't remember if it's 9 or 10 a.m. No music until noon. They are getting married at 11. The service will be from 11 to noon. And then at noon, play it as loud as you want to, as much as you want to, wherever you want to. We will have the big orgs there. We'll have ACCL is going to be there. Bass Wars is going to be, Bass Wars is going to be there. ACCL is going to be there. I believe Mecca is talking about coming. There's a page for it, and I'm sure on the page there's a lot of things that show maybe something that I haven't thought of. But the big orgs that really count are the ones that are going to be there. John Kent says 9 o'clock. So 9 o'clock, gates are going to open. Get there, get set up. Everybody is invited to the wedding. This isn't an invitation-only kind of deal. If you're coming to the show, more than happy to come to the wedding. They will not be supplying food. There will be vendors there. Or excuse me, a vendor there. The vendor has already been advertised on there, and shame on me, I can't remember the name of it, but they have been in other shows. They do make some damn good food, and it's a good selection of food. It's not like you're just going to get Peruvian barbecue or hot dogs. If I remember, they have a decent amount of selection there. So That's a really good thing. I believe they will be having a wedding cake though. So, if y'all want some cake, come on in. What's up, Lane? So, but no music until noon. This is just like the other shows that we throw. No music before 10. They will shut you down once. After that, you'll be requested to leave because this is not something we want to mess around with. This is their wedding. This is their once in a lifetime. We want it to be the best they've got to get, and that's it. Get there, set up wherever you want, except in the Sound Orgs area. No music after the wedding. Yep, and the wedding is scheduled noon. If it ends a little bit early, obviously you all know because you'll be in there with us. If you start to hear other people starting it up and you see people coming out of the building, fair game. It ended sooner than expected. But as it sits right now, wedding starts at 11, music starts at noon. That's it. No exceptions. So, presents, it's free to get in. There is no charge at the gate to get in. The only money that you need to account for is any donations you want to make towards the wedding, any gifts, and if you're running any of the sound organizations, like other shows, sound orgs are going to charge what they charge individually. There's no gate fee or anything like that. It's going to cover everything. We don't run shows like that. It just gets way too confusing. But each org will charge what it charges. ACCL is going to be its usual pricing of $30.50. I believe that Russell with Base Wars does similar pricing around there. Mecca, if I remember correctly, they do similar pricings. So we're all consistent with our pricings throughout the show. This isn't going to be anything we're going to jack up. This isn't going to be anything we're going to go down on. It's going to be about the same price as usual. The good thing, if you don't have enough points, I've been giving out way too many 3X events this season. I admit it. I am guilty. Shame on me. Oh, wait, hold on. I own the frickin' org. We've had a lot of good shows. And for the good shows, for me, my stipulation of doing a 3X is if other orgs are going to be there, not just us in a parking lot kind of thing. If other orgs are going to be there, if it is a fundraiser show, if it's a celebration show, some major portion of the show to make it justify doing a 3X show. It's the wedding of two of my good friends. So, with that being said, this will be a 3X points event. I know. It is what it is. And that's my gift to them along with other things. But that's my gift to them is making it a 3X event with the hopes of drawing more people there just the same. But really, for this show, people should come for Nicki and JT because they're both great people. If you don't know them, hey, Raylan, if you don't know them, then you don't hang out with us because Nicki is such a consistent judge with me that she actually goes to the Virginia show and helps me run the TDH Virginia show. Anytime there's a show, luckily enough, her schedule works in conjunction with being able to take the weekends to do that. She doesn't work a job that requires, Saturdays or Sundays. So it works out fun. And she enjoys doing it. So that's great. And not to say that Brendan or anything, everybody does. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. I am blessed that I have found a grouping of people to work with my org that I can trust all of them. I know that they are consistent. I know they are dedicated. And I know nobody is doing it because they feel they have to. And nobody's doing it with the intent to gain anything. Nobody's thinking they're gonna get in there and start making lots of money and be able to do that. You don't make money at this shit. I do this to support my habit, and my habit's expensive. So speaking of, here, let's do this. Oh yeah, no freaking Suburban right now, is there? Son of a drug donkey. No, the Burb is actually running quite well. The Burb is, I gotta do my Burb update because it's just the way I am. The Burb is actually running quite well. The GMC, on the other hand, is actually in the shop because it's not feeling good. But the Suburban is, before we left, I took it to the USAM's facility, and we are doing some things with the subs. Maybe doing some things with the rest of it. Who knows? It's a project truck. It's part of our R&D department. We put stuff in there and beat the living bejesus out of it and see how it happens. So who knows? There may be something different done to it than what we originally spoke of before I left. I told them I don't care. Do whatever the hell you want to it. If I come back and it says Spark-O-Matic 6x9s in the back, I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Why not? Because it's a slate, and that's what it is. So, but I should have it back this week. It'll definitely be at Nicki and JT's wedding. So, yeah, there you go for that. Yeah, Chris, both of them definitely are very, very awesome and great people. So, all right, I'm rambling. That's what I do. But yeah, I got a sunburn on my back too, so sorry about that. For the Love and Bass wedding, that is March 21st. That is hosted by the infamous Mr. John Kent, and I will be the ACCL judge, 3X event. After that's the TDH show. So the weekend directly after that is the TDH show in Virginia. So I'm gonna hopefully by the 22nd I'll have all the scores posted and out there, and everybody know where they're standing at. So let's see here. All of the awards, this just came through my head. All of the awards for finals have been shipped out. So if you're waiting on your awards, find your local judge and get on them about it. I shipped off the awards for the Michigan for Johnny and Sean. I shipped them out, I want to say last Thursday. No, not last Thursday, because that'd be day before yesterday. I shipped them out over a week ago. So, they should have it and get with them. If I remember correctly, they told me that they're going to get them out at the next show they throw. That is going to be... Well, that one still says we're not sure about it yet. Okay, the one that I have that they are 100% dedicated to is April 18th. That's No Beating Around the Base. And that one, I've got listed as the first show of the season, but there are 2 shows before that they're kind of up in the air about. The issue that they have, what's up, Matt? The issue they have is that they are about up to their scuppers in snow right now. It's real hard to have shows when you're covered in snow. So, okay, so April 18th, Johnny just verified on that. That is the No Beating Around the Base. So, and then, well, just calm down there, killer. We'll get to all that. Or I won't. Actually, I won't, because I don't have anything after Made of Steel right now, because I don't want to put too much on the table. So, yeah, April 18th, the wedding's going to be awesome. June 20th, Father's Day. The before shows are in Tennessee. Yeah, and that's what we got to get up on here, because I've got the team flexing on them that says you're not sure yet, and that Matthew told me about it, but nobody's committed to that one yet. And then the April 18th is the Team Hurt Some Car Audio show. That is being hosted by Matthew McRae, one of our other judges up, floating around on the East Coast. So, yeah, so those are the shows coming up. And then after that, we have got the ever so famous Made of Steel. Made of Steel is on the 15th of May, May. So, there you go. That's for that. There may be other shows in between. I haven't gone back to my calendar yet. I'm going to start working on more this week. Now that we're back, now the big stuff is done, now we've taken our trip, now the birthdays are passed, everything like that. I'll get on this. I'll update the calendars and see what is going on. People that we have ran shows with, people that we've had sort of ran shows with in the past, I usually go back and see, the consistency of those and which ones. Nobody I don't want to talk about or anything. I just really can't remember. I can't think right now. So, like Johnny just said, we have the ACCL Tennessee page that he created. If you're in the area or somewhere in the vicinity of, go check it out. Like the page. He posts any and upcoming shows in the area. Same way with the ACCL Michigan page. If you're up in the northern part of the states and want to know what's going around Michigan, Ohio, all those areas up around there, check that out. Let's see here. John Kent says, I'm working on some Meta Steel info right now while listening. So, Kent, he's always up on top of it. And anybody that doesn't know, Meta Steel takes a lot of time and a lot of people and there's a whole bunch of behind the scenes work for Meta Steel that people don't even fathom, because there's just so much going on and so much that needs to be done with it. Between the raffles and the car shows and the donks and the jacked up, every single area has their own thing. And if I know right, Musical Wars plays there as well. And that's, something that's kind of a little section for it. It's just a lot of work that goes into it. So if you've never been to Maya Steel, if you've never been to any of our shows or any of the other shows, aside from which ones you go to, go check them out, see what they're all about, because every show pretty much kicks ass. I know Eastbound every year just gets bigger and better and bigger and better. We've already had that one. And the good thing is that our shows do expand and our shows do grow. And hey, Nikki, I was just talking about you. I was talking about your wonderful event coming up. But every show that we do grows and gets bigger and stronger and bigger and stronger. So if you haven't been to one yet, you need to come check them out. No question about it. So yeah, Nikki, I was just telling everybody about we're gonna light the lanes up. You're gonna get married at 11. Light the lanes up at noon. If there's anything else you want to add in here, type it. Do what you want to do about it. That's how it is for that. So. One of the things that went through my head while I was out on the cruise, and the cool thing about the cruise is that when you get on the ship, they've got free Wi-Fi, but the free Wi-Fi is like dirt bottom end Wi-Fi. Like the only thing that really runs is the Disney app, so you can do all the stuff on there and see your times and everything. Anything above that, like checking emails or going on Facebook or websites or anything, can't do it. It's not going to do it. But for a small fee of an arm and a leg, your phone service will give it to you. Or for a little bit bigger fee of an arm and a leg, the boat will give it to you. I didn't do either of them. I don't care that much about it. Everything when I got back, I had about 200 and some odd emails. I still have yet to reply back to anybody for US AMPS emails. I'll do that tomorrow. Right now, my daughter's not feeling well, so Melissa and I have been taking care of her since we got back. So tomorrow, I will most likely be taking her to the doctor for a checkup or to get checked on, and then the second half of the day, I'm going to end up going to US AMPS and just pumping out emails and answering all the questions that I can. So dial up with Internet Explorer. That's about the speed of it too. But the good thing is that with that, then you're forced to relax, and you're forced, because if not, I did bring my laptop with me on the cruise. I know, shame on me. And I did have my phone, and I had the intent to do stuff when I had time, but I couldn't. So that's not a bad thing, because I needed to relax. I needed to chill back. I was reminded as into my past life and my career that I was a rather massive workaholic, and I didn't know how to take time off. Working, 12, 14 plus hour days, and then getting home and continuing working, and then taking a power nap, and then going to work again. And that was like a 7-day cycle for me. I didn't get burnt out, but I got it took over my life to an extent. And I retired out. I'm done with my field, with the exception of working with US AMPS, but I retired out mainly because of that reason. I got overly done, I got overly burnt, and I became too dedicated to it enough to miss my family and to my oldest. I'm not gonna say I missed his childhood, but there definitely was a lot more that I wish I could have done. So looking back on it in hindsight, I retired out of my field. I've been doing electronics for 20, 25 years. finished as a lead quality engineer for the companies I worked at. So I've served my time. Now is relaxing, working with US amps, running ACCL, enjoying my family. So I actually did relax, what that whole big long spiel goes to. So one of the things that did come to my head that I did see a post about, and that people get up on it, break out the broomsticks and torches, is fuses. And I myself would think, being an electronics person that I am, anytime you have a circuit, you fuse the circuit. There's no way around it. You don't rely on a resistor crapping out in the voltage bridge or anything like that. You fuse your circuit. But there are people out there that'll actually almost like fight you to the ends of the earth saying no fuse. Team no fuse, or I don't fuse and my stuff's never caught fire. Or, okay, well, I know people that don't wear their seatbelts, but I know a couple of lives have been saved because of them. So how do you go for that? What's up, Jennifer? How you doing? So that's kind of something I was going to throw on the table here to see if we really had anybody that could push either direction on it. Just because I got to get into the logic of why run no fuse? Why are you team no fuse? Why do you really want to try it that much? And the number one answer I get from people, like face to face, is, well, I installed my system and I know it was right. Well, you could do that and you could say that, but what happens when, I don't know, what's the name of that company is named after a star grouping? Is it Orion. When I had their shit in my truck, one of their 5Ks bridged out on itself, just not even on. And we're sitting there at the meet, all of a sudden we see a shitload of sparks coming out of the back of my truck, and it just sit there and ate itself. The amp wasn't even on. And it sat there and it baked itself enough as to where it actually sounded like an arc welder. And everybody at the meet, little Target meet, we all went, what? And sat there and watched it go. So at that point, I think it was Brendan was up there, and he had his tools, and we disconnected all the power wires off and did all that good stuff. No logical reasoning. Everything I had in that truck was wired and tuned precisely. I used 8-gauge speaker wire. I used double aught for the power wire. I had my grounds all tied up. I had plenty of power going to it. I had plenty of power coming out of it. Everything was lined up right. So why'd that happen? It wasn't like I was using, oh God, what's my favorite one I've seen so far? Oh, people take old extension cords. Or take old extension cords and use those for their power wires. Or they'll take like lamp cords and use them. No, nothing. Anybody that knows my setups, it looks like garbage. So I got wires piled up everywhere, but everything is tuned precise. Everything is matched out. I respect the electricity enough to understand what needs to be done. And my stuff still went up in flames because of a faulty amplifier. The time before that was because I let some dipshit do my install on the electrical, and he bent my power wires too sharp, but they rubbed through and grabbed themselves out. Now with that one, it didn't cause enough of a load on it to pop the fuse, but it damn sure lit up that brake line. So that could be an exceptional of what somebody would say is why they don't worry about running fuses. But on the same note, it didn't pull a heavy enough load on the wire to pop the fuse. It found a ground with a resistance on. I don't know. Either way, that doesn't mean at that point I'm like, oh, I don't need fuses. Screw it. Aaron says, I used to be team no fuse. Now I'm team all fuses. Yeah. See, I've got 6 runs front to rear, and I've got 6 in the front right off the alternators, and I've got 6 in the back right at the lithium bank. Should I have fuse between the lithium bank and the amps? Probably. But that's short enough runs as to where they don't rub up against anything, they don't run on anything. And at that point, I am relying on the safety circuits of the amplifiers to do their jobs. I always hound on people that when you fuse, you're not fusing your equipment, you're fusing your wires. You never fuse your equipment. If you fuse your equipment, then that means that your 1500 watt Clarion amplifier only needs like a, what's that work out to, like a 100 amp fuse or something like that. No, you're not fusing the equipment, you're fusing the wire. For if that wire catches a short, it'll break it away from the power source of the circuit, so it'll break the possibility of causing more extensive damage. So Johnny says I'm fused for front and back runs. See, so there you go. So like the in between. What's up, Kevin? The in between portions of it, the long sections of wire, that's the parts that I fuse. Um, Coming off my alternator, because I run double alts and I got 3 runs coming off each alternator. I've got those, and the wires float up to the fuse box, to the fuse brick, and then from the fuse brick, then the wires go in there and run all the way through. But the wires going from the alt to the fuse brick, that's maybe 2 foot of wire that's floating. So it's not going to hit up against anything. And if it does, it'll zap out right there, and then the fuses will go before they back charge to the batteries or cause any damage down there. So it's stopping the damage at the shortest distance possible. I mean, obviously you can't put fuses directly on your alternator and put fuses directly on your amplifiers, or, however from point to point to fuse the entire length of the wire. But the concept that I run by is to make it as close to the power source or load that it can be to avoid the most amount of issues as possible. So, but that's my thing. I don't know. People could sit here and talk all day long about why they believe in no fuse. I've heard people say that fuses have been proven to restrict voltage flow. Yeah, then get a bigger fuse for your wire. Because if you've got a fuse on your wire that is causing a load on it like that, then that's telling me that you don't have the right fuse for the application. That's the old style trick of, when the fuses in the house would blow out, back when you used to have the screw-in fuses, then you put a penny behind it because then it works and the fuse didn't blow. Well, there's a reason that fuse blew. You fucking douche canoe. Things sat for a week, so it's clogged up. But yeah, so you don't make the fuse work. You find out why the fuse popped. That's the old style way with the blade fuses that are actually in your vehicle. When you popped one, if you got a 10 amp fuse, we'll put a 15 in there. If the 15 blew, put a 25 in there. And then you keep upping the size of the fuse, and then at that point, the fuse isn't going to be the weakest part anymore. Somewhere in the wire or somewhere in the circuit or somewhere else is going to take the load, and then you're going to catch something on fire, but your fuse isn't going to pop because your fuse is too big for the application. Ugh. That's just stuff you don't want to do by any means. So, I don't know. That's my venting. I don't really have anything else to go up off that, and we've got let's see exactly what fuse wires are for. What's up, Brendan? What's a fuse? Brendan, I don't, with your car, man, I don't question it because it's your car. Your car is just like the freaking unicorn of car audio. It shouldn't work, and everything is saying that it shouldn't work, but you get some freaking stupid good numbers out of that thing with really no reason. You shouldn't, and that's the thing. You shouldn't, but it works. It does the things, as you say. So, Johnny, if the fuse is getting hot, it's either too small or something is wrong. If it does not get hot, see on there you go. With the fuses, what a lot of things I've seen is with the people that will complain that fuses do screw up. Well, it's not necessarily the fuse. More times than not, the people have a loose location, a loose connection somewhere, and the loose connection. What's up, Dalton? Next show, Jennifer. If there's a loose connection, it's not making full contact. When it's not making full contact, that's going to be the weak point of it. And I know everybody in here has seen it or seen a picture of it online or whatever. Somebody said, "Oh, the fuse didn't work," and the molding of the little plastic that goes around the fuse and everything, that's all melted, and the screw where the fuse did that burnt through, but the fuse is unburnt. And they're like, "Oh, the fuse never blew in this." Well, you had a loose connection, you had a bad contact, you had contamination somewhere, you had some part of your circuit that is causing a non-reactive load that is dispersing the electricity in a high current fashion. That's the only way I can say it. Think of it like this. You have, for anybody who can remember the old incandescent light bulbs, right? A 25-watt light bulb is not going to be anywhere close to the temperature of a 100-watt light bulb, because a 100-watt light bulb is using more energy to create more light with a lower resistance so that it will disperse the light and the heat. That is pretty much what happens with contacts and bad ring terminals, bad, you tighten down the power tight enough or what have you. You've got the electricity going to the source is pulling the electricity there, but the connection point between the two of them is weak and moving, so it's barely making a contact, so it's almost like it's tunneling it. It's causing a resistance at that point, which is going to disperse heat. It's going to be, heat is dispersive energy. Why do we keep our amps cool? Why do we try to keep our system cool? Why do we, with the exception of some equipment that needs to heat up, like anybody that's ever worked with old, not even old, but tube amplifiers? Tube amplifiers are the total opposite from solid state. They work better the hotter they get. The hotter they get, the better the circuit works and the cleaner the signal is. But we're not talking tubes here. We're talking transistors and MOSFETs and compact circuits and portions of the amplifier that are so small they need to run cool, because any dispersed of heat is a loss of energy and it'll cause a breaking point on it. What about when you overwork your system and your voltage goes down in the tank? Voltage and current work almost like a teeter-totter. That if your voltage gets pulled down, they have to stay level to create the power. So if one goes down, the other will go up to counter the formula. Well, when the other goes up, more times than not, when the voltage goes down, the current's got to skyrocket. So now your equipment is pulling more power than it is designed to pull from it, from its source. So parts of the circuit are going to overwork and heat up. They'll reach their thermal breaking point. They will then disperse the energy, which in more times than not is smoke and flames. Tubes are just, I used to have a little, probably about the size of a shoebox. I got it at a flea market. It was a tube amplifier out of a film projector. And I had that hooked up in my room when I was a kid. And I toggle a switch and make a lot of pop sound over the speakers. And those tubes would slowly light up and start glowing and lit the whole room up, and man, hot as blistering hell. But it was awesome. There's not a sound quality that really is going to beat it. Whatever happened to Macintosh amplifiers? Are they still around? Does anybody know? Because I know Macintosh at one point made car audio amplifiers or tube. And I know US Amps does too, but it's not on our line. It's not, you don't go onto the US Amps webpage and order a tube amplifier. It's a custom build. It's a custom design. And I gotta think about that for a second, because I know we have at least one on display in the lab, but here I go, I'm hitting puberty again. Hold on. I know we have one in the lab. It's a tube amplifier. It's a US Amps tube amp. And if I remember, for the home audio that US Amps does, I believe that Michael custom builds a tube amp for it, but I'm not 100% on that. I'm trying to piddle and think right now, but I know that Macintosh used to make a really, really awesome, just superb sound quality car audio amplifier. This would have been back in the, I don't even know the time period. I know like early 2000s for sure, but uh, yeah, Crush. You know, it very well may be, Jennifer. Um, my internet right now, I've got to contact the company because last I checked, my speed is 12. I pay for 300. So it's going extremely slow right now, and I got to figure out what the blaze is going on. I've done everything I can do on this side of the connection. So I got to contact them tomorrow. I call them tonight, but I don't speak Arabic. Uh, so get that figured out as to what's going on. But um, oh wait, hold on. This just drew my attention. When the frame or motor goes in your car, we can 4x4 chassis swap it. Oh, that's freaking. Yeah, Brennan says if we're still alive, that car, I don't think he even has a motor anymore. I don't know. I got to check on that next time I see him. But it's just held together with duct tape and dreams and a little bit of a zip tie just to make sure. But it still runs. And anytime we do a show anywhere, he does not ride with me. He takes that car. We've been, well, as far as Jacksonville and uh, obviously, you know, Orlando and Tampa. And God, we've been all the way down to, what the blaze was that, over on the East Coast? Cocoa Beach, you know, things like that. Peggy, for anybody that doesn't know, Peggy is one of the main players of the original US amps, design and engineer and everything else, and we are forever grateful of your input on everything. When Dirk built the first tube amp, it was put up against some of the ones that were at Carnegie Hall, and it was the best sounding amp they had ever heard. Wow. Uh, Damn. Okay, so he did build it at one point. Like I said, I remember seeing one in the lab, but I don't know the backstory behind or anything. So thank you for that, Peggy. Now when I see it, I can look at it and get a good smile on my face. That's awesome. We attacked Iran. Yeah, I get that. Let's see. Off the wall question: if someone buys a retired police cruiser, does the petition count as a modification? Dude, Dalton, man, come on. Don't be that guy, okay? Don't make me add another page to the damn rules. Um, Let me look at it, or if you know, have somebody look at it. Have somebody when you go to a show or whatever. Mom, the 5 minutes, I'm not worried about that anymore because I post real quick. I'll go back to that in a second. I don't worry about that anymore because I post it here. I share it all over Facebook. And then I also go on YouTube. I have a channel on there, Guy with the Meter. And YouTube doesn't care about how long it is. And that's a heavier platform anyways than doing uh, Instagram or whatever other ones are, Dying Horse. So I don't know about the police cruiser. Like I said, I'd have to look at that, Dalton. Um, because if I remember correctly, that, oh God, that does, doesn't it? Because that has a solid side behind the driver of plexi, and then it has the gated side, or well, the fence side on the passenger. And for anybody knows, I've never been in the back of a police car. I've just looked at them. Um, but yeah, God, we because that wouldn't be a factory mod. That would not be a factory option. That wouldn't be something that I could go to Ford and, you know, on the lot there's a Land Cruiser there with the divider up in it. So I would have to have to put you on the wall class, man, or I have to put you in no wall 4. I think would be another one there, but that would be a show for show basis. Just we'll look at it and we'll see what's going on with it. So it's a commercial vehicle, Johnny, yes, but it's not a commercial vehicle. I can't go to Ford. Well, you can go to any dealership and order anything you want. Hell, you could order a damn Neon with a V8 in it if you give enough money. But I don't see that, because now we're going with like the whole Panda controversy thing, where yeah, it's a factory vehicle, but you got to order it from overseas. You can't get them stateside. When you get them over there, you got paid to get them over. There's a whole bunch of shit behind it that really makes it not a fair. In my eyes, I don't believe that right there should be considered a fair vehicle. Other orgs do, that's fine. Good for them. Um, I think that the Crown Vics that I've seen come to the lanes are already from the factory solid enough that they don't really need much of anything else to it. They come as very, very strong vehicles. So, yeah, it's technically a manufacturer add-on at the time, but so are police lights. And if you go down the road with police lights on the top of your car, the cops are going to pull you over because you're not a cop. So that's an option for police vehicles. It's not an option that the average Joe is going to go in there and say, I can't get the kids to shut up. Could you put a divider in this car? I've never heard of anybody doing that or seen anybody doing that. Matter of fact, even a lot of the taxi cabs that I've seen, actually I knew a guy in St. Pete that ran a taxi service, he took them out because they're just not comfortable. Now, he kept the full plastic seat in the back and everything, so that when, Bobby Barhopper goes and pukes in his back seat, all they do is hose it out. But, yeah, I don't... Yeah, it's an add-on by Fort Police Fleet. You said the keyword there, police. It says it right there. So, that's... if you can gain something by doing it, then good for you, but I just don't see it doing anything positive. That's going to be extremely noisy. It's going to block the wave out. It's just, I don't see anything good coming from it. I would put you in the wall class. Or, dang, either wall or no wall 4. I got to check the ruling on that. Yeah, that puts you in one of those higher end classes, because I'm just not going to be part of that one. So, what is such a shame, Jennifer? A little bit lost on that. Oh, shit. Okay. For $35,000, that is a shame. The MC 3500 MK2 vacuum tube, $35,000. I bet that's some of the best sounding audio reproductive equipment you will ever hear, too. That's the type of stuff that when you listen to. See, that's like, let's hop around from here, because that's how I get with like records. Like older records and things like that on a good record player, I'll stop what I'm doing and sit there and listen to it, because it's a different kind of sound. It's got a bigger, better, it's more rich, it's more fulfilled. It's hard to explain if you've never heard it. The sad part is, I'm sure there's a handful of people in here that have never heard a record. I'm old enough that my grandfather's car had an 8-track player in it from the factory, so there you go. There's also the one luxury SUV I didn't recall. If it's a Jaguar Land Rover, it comes with a luxury glass partition at the C-pillar. Not this even particular to buy a 5 to 6 figure for SPL. Yeah, you know what? If you buy one of those and run it my lanes, I will bend the rules just so you can have your $100,000 Land Rover in there, or actually more than that, to bust the windshield out and start breaking glass, because I don't see it making that much of a difference, really. But no, and I completely get what you're saying. And I've said this before, and I've handled this before. ACCL is built on the aspect of keeping your 100% right on that, Peggy. It's a refined sound. I used to have a reel-to-reel player, too. Totally cool. Keeping it more for the average Joe to be able to compete in the lanes and come out and not have to worry about making a 3-inch thick rule book that states that if your car was built in 1996 and has blue interior but has red headlights, then your tire size needs to be a size 15 or bigger. We don't need to make a shitload of rules for people. We need to just keep it level. If I start getting stuff like that in the lanes, it will come up and it will be put in the rules. That's why not last season, but the season before, I had to add some things to the rules, because we had people that are in the lanes that were purposely stretching the rules just for that reason. just to be people that are wanting to push buttons and wanting to catch issues. Problems we never had before until they came in. They did it. They proved their point. They said, "Hey, look at me," and they left. So now there's rules saying that you can't do that shit. Did I want to put them in there? Not really, because they were like the only people that did that. We never had a problem up to that point. But like I've told people in the past, and like I hounded on Johnny last season, don't make me change the rules, because if you fuck with them, I will. I don't want to, because everything's running great and smooth as it is. If we see people or we see a consistency of something, like when we first started the org, that, okay, well, people like this, people don't like that, let's change this. That's fine tuning. That's different. That's not adding a special rule in there that says that you can't have this if you have that. That is finding more of what I think is more positive for the masses. And when it comes down to it, I don't want to make a crap load of rules. I don't want to push people out of lanes. I don't want to make it so that you have to go through every page of the rule book before every show to make sure that everything is in spec in reference to the last show. I don't want to do that. That's not what we're doing. And I don't really, I don't think we have too many people that purposely bend or push the rules. Um, you know, that's the way it is. We want to make this more so that you could take your daily driver and compete against the guy that's got a custom car audio shop build. Not have, $50,000 shop build going against 50,000. I know 50,000 is probably an undercut because I've got a good amount of money in my truck. But I don't want those guys to be able to be the only ones to play, and anyone else gets second, third, and fourth place. That's just not the way I like to run things. So Jennifer, about dividing the crown of victory, shut kids up. There is that. um, and all right. So Johnny, you expose the gray areas, and that's great. That's awesome. But I keep the gray areas there for a reason, because I want people to get creative, but I don't want people to overly push the limits and really screw it up for everyone else. Kind of like, waiting till the end of the season to run someone else's vehicle that puts out 15 more decibel than yours do. That's kind of something that I don't want to have to write in the rule book. Yeah, no. So, but the gray areas, I like that. That's why I created I keep saying I. That's why we created the FTW class. Because the FTW class has got a whole batch of gray areas in it. And I love when people get in there and they find them. Logan last year found the gray area, or found a gray area, and he took home first place. Took home a couple first place, I know, right? Was what he was doing wrong? No. Nope, not one bit. Not a single bit of what he did was wrong. He found the loopholes in the rules. I push him to do it. I push everybody to do that. I want you to find that one little spot that I wasn't 100% specific on when writing the rules, and I don't do anything by accident. You can ask Melissa. I act like an idiot. I act like I don't know what's going on, but I can assure you I'm usually 10 steps ahead. I like it like that. I like to make people think. I like people to expand what they're doing to get the next step to how Johnny leaving. Now he's back again. I don't even care. I want people to find and go through the book and the rules and say, oh, look, it didn't say that here. Let's do that. And try different things to see if they can get ahead. The FTW class was built specifically for that because it's fuck the world. Do what you need to do to win. What do you need to do to get that high score? Do it. Let's see here. Have some of the U.S. AMPS team looked at infinite baffle builds. See some IBs in YouTube push some pretty large number, under 20 yards. Well, funny you say that because Mr. Brendan, actually, his wife's car currently holds the world record in trunk 1, I believe it is. And she has an IB in her car. I could not tell you for 2 bits what her car is. I think it's a Suzuki. But little teeny go-kart looking thing. And she took it. She ran with it too. So here, let me see. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Leaderboard. Let's go with that would be bottom out. Oh, excuse me, I got the errors. Let's see, bottom out class. And then we have got, let's see, she would have been trunk 1. Let's do average, largest to smallest. Let's do class A to Z. Oh. That would be, yep, US Amps. Josie did a after bonus. She did a 152.87. So a 152.87 is what her final score was in trunk 1. That's, excuse me, trunk 2. Excuse me. Um, that's some pretty damn good stuff. And she's got the infinite baffle in there. They had a sundown 18, I want to say. Not 100% sure. But yeah, and they got that number in there. So yeah, infinite baffle is the way to go. The person for trunk 1 did a 152.3. That's Butte Coverson. I don't know what their setup is. I don't, but that's an impressive number too. Now I'm sitting there looking at them. Yeah. So yeah. All right. Well, you know what, guys? It's after 10. I'm tired. Vacation tore me up, and today was the day I'm starting to feel it. So you see these big bags under my eyes right now. So I'm gonna let it go. Um, that's it for the night. I want to thank everybody here. Let's see. XV3 18 still. Okay, see, I was way up. So she has 2 18s in it, but that still is an infinite baffle. And if I remember correctly, for I want to say he could not figure how low, what frequency it was low stable at, because the lowest he had was like a 9 hertz, and it was still playing it. I mean, it wasn't like pumping air and doing 50s, but yeah, and that's IB. That's okay. So he's infinite baffle too. Thanks, Johnny. I thought so, but I wasn't 100% sure. So, um, okay, Dalton, you got to throw me a bone here, brother. 1, 2, or 3 X points. Uh, I don't know what you're talking about. If you're talking about uh, Josie, that was a 3X event. So, all right. So, sweet, Matt. I saw your comment earlier. I meant to reply to it, but I got rambling on here like I normally do. But yeah, dude, that's awesome. So you're coming to Nicki's show, or you just coming down to hang out at the lab? Whatever it is, man. You know where we're at. Hit us up for damn sure. So, yeah, okay. So Johnny says they got 215. So that's freaking damn good numbers, man. That's awesome. So, all right. Like usual, I'm Jason, aka Guy with the Meter, the owner of Grand Poopah and head monkey in charge of ACCL. Hit us up online, ACCL, Facebook. Guy with the Meter on YouTube is where I'm at with that. The other ones, if I post there, I post it there. I'm not too happy with it. The return isn't much for anything, and I got to chop it down to less than an hour and monitor. It's just not worth it. YouTube, I could do this shit for hours, and it'll let me, and Facebook's the same way. So those be the two hotspots. I don't gain anything from this. I get to sit out here and shoot the shit with friends that I don't really get to see that often, or I don't call or anything like that. So we're sitting here shooting it. So either way, again, I'm Jason, and the next show coming up is going to be Nicki's show. That's March 21st. It is a one-day show. Nicki and JT, excuse me. That is a one-day 3X show. There's going to be cake there, plenty of cake, and bring a present. They also take good old greenback for donations. Um, let's see. Kent says, for anybody that's going to be watching us later on, uh, pre-registration for Made of Steel, go do it. Go check out their website. It is madeofsteel.com, I believe is what it is. I am not 100% sure on that. You know what? Let's look that up real quick. And so I'll give you the exact here. Made of Steel. Nope, no. There's no Q in that. Show 2026. Yep, www.madeofsteelshow.com. So again, to pre-register for the show, Kent set it up. It is up and active. For anybody who doesn't know, pre-registering for any of the shows that we offer, you get a grab bag usually. You get guaranteed shots at the show. You'll get your spot. There are still locations available for teams and sponsors. Please hit up Kent, hit up the website. I'm sure there's information on both of them. It's always good. I know Area 51 always gets a nice big spot on the field that's separated out for our vehicles, which is wonderful. It's great. I don't remember how much it costs, but whatever it is, for a guaranteed spot at a show as big as Made of Steel for you and your team to be together and not have to worry about being spread out. It's the price. The prices you pay it. It's worth it. It's damn sure worth it. So let's see. Recap here. For Nicki and JT's show, it does not cost anything to get in, but it is nice to bring a hefty donation for their wedding because they are getting married. The following week, she's going to be with Melissa and I going up to the TDH show. I'm not forcing her to do this. I'm not forcing this to happen. I actually told her that if she wanted to stay in Florida, we understand. We can run this show by ourselves. We can get someone else to come with us. She said no. The TDH show she will not miss. And that's about how I am about it too. So if you get a chance to go, come check it out, guys. I'm going to quit rambling. Love y'all. See you next week. And tomorrow is going to be US Amps Mondays with Mike. If he's running that tomorrow, I believe he is, and I will be there, hopefully. I may have to take my daughter to the doctor. If I take her to the doctor, it'll be early in the morning. He does that at noon. So either way, all right. Love you guys. Catch you next time.